Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan, and I am the founder of Bookura. I want to take a quick moment to walk you guys through the setup process. It's super simple, and it takes less than 5 minutes to get started, and it is completely free to join. Everybody starts on the same exact plan, and if you would like to upgrade, you can do so directly inside your dashboard. There is no credit card required to get started. With the free plan, you'll have limited features and integrations, but in this video, I'll walk you through the sign-up process and touch on some of the basics. For more in-depth setups or specific topics, you can check out our other videos. For now, I'll briefly go over everything, including booking pages and features available in the dashboard on the free plan. Okay, so let's jump right into it. You're going to want to go over to this Get Bookura button in the top right, and this is going to take you to our sign up page where you can put your full name, email, as well as a password, and then go ahead and click Continue. This is going to send you a verification email. You're just going to want to follow the steps in there. The email will look something like this. You're going to want to just click Complete Registration, and then from here, it's going to take you to this page. So on this page, it's going to ask you to create a URL. This can be your name or the name of your business. This is going to be your unique URL that you can share with people. I'm just going to go ahead and do demo 123. And go ahead and click Continue. And now it's going to ask me my company details, so I can upload my logo, a name, an address, a phone number, as well as my website. These are completely optional, but you're just going to go, and then I'm going to click Complete Registration. And just like that, you're going to have access to your dashboard. So you're going to want to go over to Go to Dashboard. Okay, so moving on to the dashboard, like I said, I'm going to briefly go over all of these different tabs and what they mean and do. But for now, I want to highlight two very important things. So if you go over to the top left, you will see the Share Your Page button. If you go ahead and click this, you're going to see your unique URL as well as a QR code and then some code down here. You can embed this on your website if you want to show your booking page directly on your website. So if I go ahead and take that URL and paste it into my browser, you will see it will take us to the booking page that we are configuring inside the dashboard. This example is for a fitness trainer, so you can see the logo and then some other steps in here. So we're going to go ahead and select Gold's Gym, and then we're going to select a staff member. So if you're a solopreneur or you don't have any staff members, this would just be yourself. And you can also turn off some of these different steps in your settings. So I'm going to go ahead and select Stephanie, and then I'm going to select a service. And then I'm going to select a date as well as a time. Then I'm going to put my email, phone number, as well as my name and last name. Then I'm going to click Next, and this is going to take me to my cart where I can see the services, and I can also add another service. And then I'm going to go ahead and click Next, and then this will be the checkout page. So we are currently on the free plan, so I cannot connect my Stripe or PayPal, but this will be a direct checkout page if you do have those connected. So I'm going to go ahead and click Confirm Booking, and then you can see as a client, I am able to add this to my Google Calendar as well as some other options in here. Okay, so next thing I want to touch on, if you go up to your profile, you will see billing in the top right section. This is where you can upgrade your plan as well as view your current plan or cancel your plan with 2 clicks of a button if you would like to do so for whatever reason. Okay, now to jump right in, I'm going to go over to settings. I'm going to work my way up from the bottom here, but I'm going to go over to settings and then start in the general settings. So in here, this is where you can configure all sorts of different settings. You can remove the branding and do tons more stuff in here. And then moving on to the front end panel, like I said, this is where you can turn off certain steps in that booking process. And then moving on to labels, you can change the language and translate it to other different languages if you would like to do so. And then moving on to payment settings, this is where you can configure your payment settings as well as payment methods. This is where you can add your Stripe or PayPal or SquarePay. But like I said, we are on a free plan right now, so you will not see those options. Moving on to company details, this is where you can add your name, logo, address, phone number, as well as your website, and then you can display the logo on the booking panel in here. Moving on to profile settings, this is where you can see your profile settings. And then moving on to business hours, this is where you can set your business hours. So when you're adding a service, it will just automatically display in there. Moving on to holidays, this is where you can put your holidays or the days that you are not working. And then moving on to email settings, this is where you can write the sender name for your email automations. And then moving on to integration settings, this is where you can add Zoom or your MailChimp. But like I said, we are on a free plan right now. Okay, so moving on to appearance, this is where you can customize the way that your booking panel looks. You can also create your own style in here if you want to change the fonts or customize the colors to your preference. So moving on to workflows, like I said, I'm not going to go too in-depth on this tutorial. There will be other videos for certain topics, but I do want to go a little bit in-depth on this because these are very unique. So if I go over to create new workflow, I can go ahead and name a workflow. And what this is a trigger. So you can see when this happens, do this. So you will see some different options. So we're going to do new booking. we're going to do this, send them an email. And there will be other options for MailChimp and other options for if you are on a paid version. So I'm going to go ahead and click create. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and set up this email. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to customer email. This is going to send to the customer's email that signed up for that service. And then I can make the subject any of these little shortcodes or customize it. But in these shortcodes, for example, if I'm going to use appointment ID, I'm going to do start date, I'm going to do end date. This might look a little wacky on your end, but when they receive this email, they're going to see, for example, appointment 123 on December 1st to December 2nd. And then you can go ahead and customize this text in here, and then you can go ahead and save and also test it. So if you want to send this to yourself to make sure that it's working, you can test it in here. So moving on to locations, this is where you can set if you are a brick and mortar location or you want to set it as a Zoom meeting, or you can totally skip this option if you would like to. You can go ahead and click add location, and then you can add a name, an image, as well as an address, phone number, and description, and you can also display it on Google Maps. Moving on to staff members, this is where you can add yourself as a staff member or add and manage your staff members. So if I go ahead and click add staff member, you will see I'll be able to put their full name, profession, email, phone number, an image, assign certain locations to them, as well as different services to them. And I can also put their Zoom information in here as well. I can manage their schedule, special days, as well as holidays. Moving on to services, this is where it gets fun. This is where you can create different services. So going into the graphic view, you will be able to see different categories assigned to different services. So if I go back to the list view, I'll be able to add a category and then a service as well. So if I want to create a service, for example, I can upload an image, a color, I can name it, add a category, a price, I can enable deposits, set the time durations, I can hide the price on the booking panel, and I can also make this a reoccurring service or payment. So for example, if I go ahead and click reoccurring, I can do monthly, weekly, or daily. So if you're selling some sort of reoccurring payment or course or service, you can go ahead and set that to reoccurring in here. Then I can also activate this service as a Zoom link. Moving on to staff, I can assign staff to the service, timesheet, extra services, as well as settings. So moving on to customers, this is where you're going to be able to see your customers' data, as well as add a customer. If you're signing somebody in person or want to add somebody to your email list, you can do so in here. Moving on to payments, this is where you're going to be able to see all the payments that you've collected from your customers, as well as the status, as well as the payment method that was used. Moving on to calendar, this is automatically going to sync your bookings into your calendar. You can go ahead and click on one of these and it will show you all the info in here. Moving on to appointments, this is where you will be able to see all your appointments and the information on those, as well as add a new appointment. So if you sign somebody in person and you want to add them to your calendar, you can do so in here. And then moving on to the dashboard overview, this is where you're going to be able to compare some different stats. You'll be able to see your appointments, the durations, the total revenue, your customers, and then some other stats down here. So 3 other things I would also like to touch on is the MailChimp settings. You will have this in the Solopreneur plan. This is where you can create the sender name for your MailChimp settings. And then moving on to invoices, this is where you can add an invoice, or you will be able to view all your invoices in here. And then moving on to staff commissions, this is where you will be able to assign certain commissions to different staff members. So for example, Stephanie, she is going to receive a 30% commission on everybody that decides to book with her. And then in here, you'll be able to see the total appointments, the revenue, and then the commissions on your staff members. Moving on to gift cards, this is where you can create different gift cards. If I go ahead and click add gift card, I can create a code, an amount, and then I can filter it to different locations, as well as services and staff members. So that sums about everything up. As I mentioned, this was a very basic overview of some of the different functions. There are plenty of other videos that cover specific topics, so if you have any questions about a particular feature, be sure to check those out. Keep in mind that this demo was done using a free account, which comes with limited features and integrations. If you'd like to upgrade to the full potential of Bookura, you can do so directly from your dashboard at any time. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd love to hear your thoughts and get your feedback and help you get started.